Helpful quick tips for model railroaders, choosing the walls and doorways for your building. Hi modelers, I'm Chris, the modeler at ABR Modelworks, and welcome to Choosing the Walls Doorways for your model rollway building video. It is part of the Modular Model Building System Helpful Quick Tips video series. In this video, I'm going to be covering how to choose the walls and doorways for your model building using the Modular Model Building System design templates. First up, if you haven't subscribed, please help us out by subscribing and ringing the bell. That will help YouTube to recommend our channel. Now, our Modular Model Building System design templates are free to download, and there'll be a link in the description below. So let's take a closer look at them and see what they are and how they can be of benefit to you. Now, like the building footprint templates, which give you the ability to work out your building footprint size, they're used to design and visualize, and if you wish, make a full mock-up of your model building. So let's start by covering the basics. As you can see, the footprint grid is the same width as the panel itself. So the panels come in full width, 3 inches or 76 millimeters, half width, 1.5 inches or 38 millimeters, quarter width, 3/4 of an inch or 19 millimeters, plus we also do a 1.5 width panel, which is 4.5 inches or 114 millimeters wide. This combination of widths gives you flexibility in the footprint size and shape of your building. Now, there are 7 different panel heights. The single story panels, or going all the way up to 6 stories. Additionally, we have a series of 1.5 story panels, which I'll cover in more detail further into the video. The panel itself comprises of a base, the story or stories, and the top or the facade. Now, you can stack your panels on top of each other to produce a building of whatever height you need. Additionally, when you're stacking the panels, you can use different types of panels to have different look within the facade itself. An example of this is you can use a 3-story panel and a 1-story panel to produce a 4-story building. In this instance, I have a 3-story panel with single openings and a 1-story panel with a shop front. And if you line them up like so, by trimming off the top and trimming off the base so that it sits at that height, then you've got your 4-story building with a different type of opening at the bottom and different openings above. Now, in this series, our concrete panels, they come with blank panels that have the engraving lines that match up with the other panels. They have single openings, double openings, etc., plus a range of doorway openings that have different size inserts that you can choose whether you want to have shop fronts, a plain concrete panel with a doorway and windows, or a brick insert with doorway and windows, roller doors, recessed loading bays, etc. Additionally, there are 2-story panels for high bay roller doors. And in a lot of buildings you'll see that the first story is slightly taller than the rest of the building. And that's why we have a series of 1.5 story panels. But additionally, the high bay door in that series is ideal for a loading bay for the roll car or the engine to run through. So this could be used as an entrance with a roller door to make a engine shed or a freight facility that has the rolling stock running through the building itself. Now, to support the panels and the openings within the panels, there is a range of engraved roller doors in various sizes. So here's one for a 1-story and a 2-story. And of course we have it for the 1.5 story as well. There are brick inserts with various openings so that you can have different doorways and windows and at different heights. So in this instance we're at the ground level, and at this instance we're at the top of the base level. We also have a range of 3D printed facade elements like entranceways, shop fronts, etc. And quite an extensive range of different types of windows to go into the various panels. So at the end of the day, there's a lot of flexibility in terms of how you design and build the look of the panel itself. Using this as an example, each of the panels have these sections that are cut out, and you'll see that there are letters for the size, and you'll be able to look in the catalogue and see what type of insert, whether it's a 3D printed part or a brick insert or something else that's engraved, to go into those areas. And we're increasing the range of insert items all the time. Now, the other thing you can do with these is that you can pop them out, glue them in slightly recessed to give you a completely different look as far as that panel is concerned. So there are many ways to work with it, and you'll see this happen in the kits that we'll start manufacturing. Now, in the last video you saw that we were able to use the footprint grids to design and work out the physical size and shape of the building that we wanted to make. That's the same process happens with the panels themselves. You can simply place panels next to each other to design the look of the facade that you're looking for. So in this instance, we've got a roller door, a blank panel, a panel that has a brick insert with a door and 2 windows. One of the other things that the panel system allows you to do, now you can build buildings with varying heights. So this building could be made up of a single-story entranceway, a 2-story roller door going into the factory, and a 2-story with brick panelling at the bottom and a window at the top. And of course you could just continue adding to the wall, making it as long as you wish. And it's the same process for designing and putting together all of the walls, the side walls, the back walls, etc. Now additionally, we have our half and quarter width panels, and so you could integrate those in a way that changes dimensions of the wall and how the wall is actually configured itself. So that gives you a rough idea of what happens there. So as you can see, there's quite a variety of options when it comes to how you design the facade. And I'd suggest that you look through Pinterest and Google at various buildings and some of the ideas that some other modelers have come up with. You'll find that there's plenty of scope for bringing your idea and building to life on the layout that you're building. Now, there's one other thing that we need to talk about as far as the base of the building is concerned. For most buildings you don't need to take this into consideration because they're just going to be sitting at ground height. Whether the building has a base on it or you take the base off, it doesn't matter because it's not affected by anything else. So you can choose to leave the base on or take the base off. Part of the reason why we have that base concept is that it does allow you to have that look of a basement. So a lot of buildings are designed where the ground floor is not on the ground, it's slightly above it. Now, the other thing that we take into consideration when we're talking about the base of a building, and this is really to do with buildings that are going to have loading docks, etc. The loading dock height that we've chosen is designed to be from the top of the rail. The reason why we chose to measure from the top of the rail is that in model railroading there's multiple different manufacturers with different codes of track and different thicknesses of sleepers, some that have got ballast built into them, some that are quite high with their ballast, etc. So there's no real standard in terms of, say, ground level or baseboard level to the top of the rail, so that makes it very difficult to come up with an exact height. So when you're building your building, the building needs to sit at rail height. So that's easy to do, you can pack it up. And in that case, when you put a platform in front of it, it will sit at that height, which of course is this base height. And that's really the only that you need to be aware of. Of course, that also goes for buildings where you're going to use the 1.5 panel high and having a wagon or a locomotive roll into the building. The building needs to be at the top of the rail height. Like I said, other than that, it doesn't make any difference at all. So that's the basics of the different panels that we have at this point in time. And as modelers make requests for slight variations with the size of windows or openings, etc., if we feel it's something that would benefit everybody, then we'll add that style of panel into the range itself. Now, one last thing, when you get your design template sheet and you're cutting it out, you'll see that there are some pilaster strips. And the pilaster strips are those little raised sections. They cover up the joint of the panels. Now you have two choices. You can either have pilasters on your building or not. And if you don't have them, then you can simply sand that back, add a little bit of wood filler and cover up where the joint is itself, which we do in some of the buildings. But that's part of the design process in terms of choosing the type of look that you're looking for. And I will be doing a video at some point in the future on making up various panels in different ways to give you some ideas on how you can make your panels very, very different to each other. Well, I hope this has been of help to you and shown you some ideas on how you can utilize the various panels, etc. There is a catalogue on the website that you can download for all of these parts, and it's really just a simple case of downloading the PDFs, cutting them out, gluing to some cardboard, and like you did with the footprint, shuffle them around until you come up with a facade that you like. And once you've done that, you can make a mock-up, place it on your layout, and make sure it suits the scene the way you expect it to. If there's anything that you're unsure of, please either leave a comment or send me an email. We're here to help in any way we can. It may look a little bit daunting in terms of the variety that we have, but the issue there is that there are so many different looking buildings out there. We wanted you to have the ability to be able to use the system to build multiple buildings and have them all looking slightly different. To see more on this series, check out the Helpful Quick Tips playlist. And in the meantime, subscribe and ring the bell. I'm Chris, the modeler at ABR Modelworks. Have a great day modelling, and thanks for watching.